Are you wondering how to create those fancy red progress bars that you've seen in a ton of Instagram videos like Gary V's or like this one right here? Well, in this video, we're going to show you exactly how to add progress bars to your videos for any platform fast and easily, and how you can easily take them to a whole new level with a few simple tweaks. Oops, looks like we've hit the end, so it's time to start the video. Hey, it's Justin Brown here from Primal Video, where we help you amplify your business and brand with video. If you're new here, make sure you click that subscribe button, and all the links to everything we mentioned in this video, you can find linked in the description box below. So let's jump into it. These little progress bars are a great tool for visually engaging your viewers and also help boost engagement as well, while giving a feeling of real progress as your viewers watch your content. They're also a lot simpler to create than you might think. So we're going to show you exactly how to do it in this tutorial, and we're going to start out with a simple red progress bar like this one, and then I'll show you how you can take that one step further with a few simple tweaks to create something much more branded like this one. Okay, so I'm over here now in Final Cut on a Mac, but don't worry, if you're not using Final Cut, or if you're not even on a Mac, this process is going to be almost identical in most video editing applications out there. So you most likely find that the things I'm clicking on and what I'm doing will be in different areas, but you should still be able to find them because this process is really simple. So I've just got a basic timeline here with some footage dropped in. The idea is that you're adding in this progress bar after you've completed your edit. It's much easier to put it in at the end than to try and be reconfiguring it all the way through your edit. So let's pretend that this is one of our finished videos down the bottom here. What I'm going to want to do is to add in a solid color. So this could be a JPEG that you're importing, or it could be that you're creating a shape layer. Again, depending on the editing software that you're using. Inside of Final Cut, we can come over here to generators and we can choose a solid. I'm going to pick a custom one, and I'm just going to drag that down into the timeline. So this is going to serve as that red progress bar down the bottom. So the first thing we want to do is to obviously make that red. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to change the color of that to a red. So if I've lost you so far, all you want to do is have a layer above your video that is red. Then what we're going to do is to either position this where we want it or to crop it down, but to somehow make it smaller and to be along the bottom of our video. So as with really anything with video editing, there's always lots of different ways to do things. We could just come down here and position this right down the bottom so that it's only showing at the bottom, or we could undo that and you could come down here and you could crop the top of it so that it again is only showing at the bottom. Doesn't matter which way you go, you just want to have that red bar down the bottom. So now what you want to do is to come across to where you want this progress bar to start. It might be at the start of your video, or it might be where you're listing off some options and those sorts of things in your video. So if you wanted the progress bar to start from here, then you're going to move that clip along to that section and then drag it out or extend it out for the length that you want that progress bar running. Now, if this is something like an Instagram piece of content, then they tend to start at the start and go right through to the end of the video. Now, obviously, as we scrub through this now, nothing is happening because we haven't animated this on yet. So you want to make sure that that layer is selected. And once again, here, there's a couple of different ways that you can animate this on, depending on your video editing application. So let's come across to the start where we want this progress bar to start. And the first way that we could animate this on is to use the transform tool, or the positioning of this red line. So let's adjust the X position so that this is starting way back off the end. So it's absolute 0, or just so there's a tiny little bit of it on there. And now you want to add a keyframe for that position. So we can hit the little button here. And then we want to come across to the end, and we want to adjust that position so that that bar is full. Let's extend that all the way through. And that automatically adds another keyframe at that point for us, at the end point. So if we scrub through this now, what we're seeing is at the start, we've told that graphic to be right off over this side somewhere and to progressively move on until the end of our clip. So as we scrub through it, we can see that that progress bar is filling up all the way through. So essentially that graphic is moving from here and moving across to the end. So that's how you can use it using the transform tool, or just adjusting the position of that graphic. Or you could actually use the crop tool again and start it back at that edge and animate it across, exactly the same using keyframes. Or a third way that you could do it is by applying a transition to your clip. So if we come over here to transitions, the one that we're going to look for is a wipe. Let's grab this and drop it onto our timeline. And again, this is a pretty standard transition. This is something that you should be able to find in most video editing applications. I'm going to zoom in down the bottom here. Let's get rid of it from the end of our clip. We only want this one here on the start. Let's extend this out, drag it out for the length of our entire clip. Zoom out again so you can see what I'm doing here. But the idea here is that this is wiping on that red graphic from left to right. Now you can see it's also got a fade effect applied on there. If we select on this transition or on this effect, come up the top corner here, and this is where we can change things like the angle. We can change that edge. So instead of it being feathered, we can change that border down to 0, and then we've got a hard edge that then is progressively being filled out or is growing for the length of that effect. So you can see it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy to be able to create just a simple graphic like this to overlay on top of your videos. So now we're going to take this one step further and show you how you can create something along the bottom here, another progress bar that is more branded. So it's going to look a little bit better and it's going to match your overall branding for your videos. Now to do that, you can pretty much use any graphic design tool out there. It could be Photoshop, it could be Canva. For us, I'm a big fan of Snapper, and we'll jump across and show you how to create this in Snapper. Now, Snapper is very similar to Canva, but you can see on their free plan here, you get access to one user, a heap of templates, and you also get 3 free downloads per month. So once you've created your free account, come over to your dashboard, and this is where we're going to create a new graphic. Now you want to make sure that this is the same size as the video that you are creating. So whether your video is 1080p or 4K or even 720p, you want to make sure that you're typing in the correct width and height at this point. So if you're doing 1080p videos, that's 1920 by 1080. And we'll hit create. All right, so this is our canvas area here. Think of this as your video. We're going to come across to shapes. Let's go to rectangle. And I'm going to move this down the bottom here somewhere and stretch this out. Again, all of this is personal preference, and you used your own colors and your own branding and fonts and things to make it look how you would like. But I'm going to show you how you can knock something up really quick that's going to look great in your videos. Okay, so we might make this our Primal video blue. So that's on brand. As you can see, very simply, so far we just have a big blue line. Now let's come across and add some text. Let's go add a heading. Let's change the text here to option 1 and let's make that selected. Let's change the fonts. So you want to, again, tailor this up to your brand and how everything looks for you. Let's go Oswald, which is the one we normally use, bold. Again, you have lots of control over letter spacing and line height and all of that kind of stuff. Let's change the color to white. It's going to disappear there. But the idea here is that we're seeing this when it's down the bottom here. Maybe we'll make the text a little bit smaller. Something like this, option 1, position it around where we want it. And now we can duplicate that layer for however many options or however many segments you're going to have in your video. So with that text selected, you want to come up the top here to duplicate layer, and we've then got a second version of it. Let's move it across here somewhere, double click on it, let's change it to option 2. Over here, duplicate, let's move it across. Again, option 3, and duplicate. I'll go 5 for this video. Option 4, duplicate, and let's put in option 5 as well. Okay, so now that we've got the right amount of text in there, let's position these out so they're a little bit more central. So now it's just a matter of moving them around to position them where you'd like it. If you'd like to turn on the grid, there is a grid here that might help you with positioning these things. But I'm just going to keep it pretty rough for this one. I'll turn that grid back off just to give you an idea of what you can create. So now I might add a little separator between each one of them. So we'll come over here to shapes. Let's go to a line. Let's rotate this line. We'll grab that little rotate bar. It's going to snap back there to 90 degrees or straight up and down. Let's shorten this down. And let's pick it up and move it down here somewhere. You might even like to have it a little bit taller, a little bit higher, so that it is breaking up your video a bit more. And once again, we'll select that. Let's duplicate it. And we'll reposition it across here for wherever the next one is. Now again, with this stuff, I want to stress that this is personal preference and what you actually choose to have down here, and whether everything is spread out evenly, or whether you know that option 2, when you're talking about it in your video, goes for longer than option 1. So you might actually want to drag out option 2 across here and center that up that way, because you know that in the overall video, you're going to cover option 2 for a much longer period of time. Maybe option 3 might be a short one. So let's duplicate that one, select it and duplicate. And let's put that a little bit closer in there. And another line here. Let's say option 4 is another big one. Let's duplicate that. Option 4 could be a massive one. And you might also like to have another one on the end to close it out. Duplicate layer and move that across to the end there. Okay, so my apologies if your OCD is playing up if this isn't so accurate for you, but I want to show you the principles here. So all we need to do then is come up the top here to save it. Obviously, if you want to save it, we're going to go download and we're going to choose transparent background. You definitely want to make sure that you have that ticked, and then you want to choose high res PNG. That's going to save somewhere to your computer. In our case here, let's just put it on the desktop. Let's call it progress and hit save. Now we'll jump back into Final Cut and we're going to import that in. So we'll just go File, Import, Media, find our graphic. Here it is, Progress, and let's hit Import. Let's grab it and drop it down on our timeline. Now we'll get rid of that red progress bar that we created earlier, just so that we have our new one here. You can see that that fits perfectly in there because we created it at the right size. So now the process from here is actually very similar to what we did with the red bar. Let's just extend this clip out, or this title out, all the way to the end, or obviously for whatever area that you'd like to have this used in your video. So now all we need to do is to animate this in and to bring on this graphic at the time so that it lines up with our videos. That when we're talking through option 1, by the time we finish, it is moving on to option 2, but it's lined up perfectly with our video. So the method for doing this, the one I would recommend is that you use the crop effect or the crop tool. Again, this is something that most video editing software has. So the idea here is that we are cropping this back to nothing, and then we are animating this on for the length of while we're talking about option 1, and then progressing to the next piece, and we're animating that on to show option 2, and so on until we reach the end of all of our options here. Now, there is one more thing I want to mention at this point. You could just animate your progress bars on like this, where they're just appearing as they go, or being built out as they go on top of your video. But what we've found to be a lot more effective in your videos is to actually duplicate this layer and to have a washed out version or an opaque version of your progress bar on screen the entire time and having that filled out. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's just remove this crop so we're back to its entirety. So what we want to do here is to duplicate our progress bar. So you could be copying and pasting, Command C, Command V, or Control C and Control V if you're on PC, or you could actually just import another version of that onto your timeline. So I'm just going to copy and paste, and I'm just going to move it out of the way for now. But really you can see that we have two versions or two copies of this progress bar. So this one here being the one that we're going to leave on screen at all times, let's just make some adjustments to it. So in our case here in Final Cut, I want to come up to the color palette or the color tools. Depending on the software you're using, you might need to apply a color grade effect, but go into the area of your editing software where you're going to adjust your color controls or color effects. So in our case here, I want to come up to saturation, and let's lower that down to make the whole thing gray. So there's no colors in it at this point. I also want to come up here and make it more opaque. So we're going to adjust the opacity here to make it more transparent so that it's visible in our video, but it's not as bold, or it doesn't stand out as much as our completed or filled in version of this progress bar. So now that we've made those simple tweaks to this bottom layer, we now want to bring our completed one back over the top or on the layer above it. So now when we come up here and we start to apply this right crop, you can see that we are seeing this transparent version. And as we animate through these options, as we're talking through them on screen and we're animating this in, that we are filling up that progress bar. So people can see the whole lot, they can see how much is left, how much is coming, and they can clearly see where they're up to in the video and for those specific sections. So this is so much more powerful. Okay, so then in regards to animate this on, very similar to the process I showed you earlier, we're going to come back to the end here to where it is not filled out at all. Let's go to where we want option 1 to start. Let's say in this case it's at the very start of the video. We're going to add a keyframe at that point. Now let's say that we talk through option 1 all the way through to about here. So at this point, we then want to make an adjustment to that right-hand crop to where option 1 finishes. So if we scrub through this now, option 1 is starting at 0. That progress bar is filling out until we reach the end. Now at this point, we haven't told it to do anything else. We haven't set any more keyframes, so it stops at that point. Okay, so let's say from this point, option 2, it looks like a bigger one, that it goes across to about here somewhere. Obviously you're timing this up with what you're saying in your videos at this point, but then we just simply, again, make a change to this right-hand crop area. So let's say that at that point, we want to come across to the end here, because that's the end of option 2. And again, the keyframes are automatically added. So if we scrub through this now, option 1 fills out, and then option 2, you can see it's actually filling out a little bit slower because we talk about it for longer. So then it's just a matter of going through and doing the same for the remaining options. Say option 3 was about there somewhere. We adjust that fill to be about there, and we'll go ahead and finish this off. So option 4 looks like it was a pretty big one. Let's say it goes to about here somewhere. Again, adjust that right-hand crop somewhere around here. And for option 5, let's say that that went through right to the very end of the video. So extend that right through until it's at the end. Really, really simple. So if we come back here to the start now, you can see that as we're playing this through, obviously I'm scrubbing through, we're filling out option 1, option 2, option 3, and so on, based on that graphic that we created in Snapper. And obviously here, this is where you can go nuts with your creativity. You don't have to have option 1, option 2, option 3. In most cases with the videos that we have, we'll actually name what option 1 is while it's been highlighted. So it might have something like Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere or Filmora if we were doing a video editing tutorial and talking through those options. But the idea here is that this process of revealing your progress bar and having it fill out at the right times in your videos is exactly the same no matter what you've got here being revealed. So that's how easy it is to create those fancy progress bars so that you can use them in your video content as well. Now, if you're looking for the most efficient way to edit your videos down with minimal wasted time and rework, then check out the video linked on screen for our complete video editing process, showing you the most efficient and effective way to edit your videos down. And I'll see you in the next one.